Thanks. Good to know. I was worried sick about that. We gotta get that on the record. Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for February 10th, 2021 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my far left is Jim Rowe and Todd Goling. I'm Ivan Valentic. To my right is Chris Jarrell. And to our far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. Under the advice of council, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. If you plan on speaking, please stand and raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God? If so, say I do. Thank you. Please be seated. This evening, just remember when you're presenting to come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes.
We have 2 items on old business and 2 items for new business. So first on old business, appeal number 2018-41, Randy Viviani of 7757 Concord LLC. That is continued to be tabled, correct? Next is variance 2020-72 James and Maureen Mantell. This one is continued to be recessed. Okay, we'll hopefully get to revisit both of those sometime soon. Next is new business. We have variance number 2021-74. John Lassiter is requesting a variance from section 15.03A6 to allow for the construction of an accessory building to be 2,560 square feet in lieu of the maximum 1,532 square feet permitted for the property located at 12364 Concord Hamden Road, current parcel number 08-A-002-000-00-039-0. Mr. Lassiter, please come on up.
John Lassiter, 12364 Concord Hamden Road.
You've been sworn in?
Yes.
Thank you. You want to go ahead and just present your case and ask some questions?
Basically what I'm looking to do is construct one building the size of 2,560 square feet in lieu of having to build 2 buildings to suit my needs. One of the main reasons I'd like to do that is mainly for looks. I feel that, trying to preserve the nature of our community, and putting up multiple buildings in a row, I don't feel would suit the neighborhood very well. Beyond that, it would require me cutting down a lot more trees and things of that nature. Along with this, I'd be able to use my existing driveway that I already had going to the back. Planning on, facing the building, the narrow side towards the street, so there'd be minimal frontage. I also have this building situated all the way to the back of the property, where it's not really going to be very visible from the road.
So are you tearing down a building to put this one up in its place?
No, sir.
So that existing shed's going to stay?
Correct.
And then, just for the record, the square footage or the acreage for the property, there's that's 2.7370 acres. That includes out to the road?
No, that includes beyond the setback, I believe. Am I correct in saying that, Heather?
That's inclusive of the right of way.
That includes the right of way?
Yeah, so the .1972 for the plan by Barrington is it just in the right of way.
Okay, that excludes the right of way.
Correct.
Okay. What are you gonna do with the building?
So I have a classic car collection, and I also have, boat, ATVs, things of that nature. So currently I have my stuff kind of scattered around. I'm borrowing some space from the neighbor, and we just don't have enough space for everything that I have.
What's in the building that's there?
So right now I have 2 of my classic cars and some ATVs. My plan was to use this building the building I'm proposing as storage, and use the building I have for workspace to actually work on these cars. It's a hobby of mine.
John, what's the size of the existing?
The existing building is 32 by 32, which was the maximum I was allowed to build before I had acquired the properties next to mine.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
You have an RV as well
Yeah.
that's gonna go into the big building?
Yeah.
Where, is that just setting out right now?
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff.
I do. I do. Fortunately, this year with everything that was going on, you know, having the ATVs and that other stuff made it. I mean, we used it more than we ever did. But
Yeah, that's cool.
John, are you right on the county line?
I don't believe so.
How close are you to Geauga? I was just trying to map your.
Not too far. I believe Geauga starts on the other side of the hill, by Big Creek there.
Okay. Just trying to get my bearings.
Yeah. Along with that, I know that plan that you guys have, you know, that was kind of a generic that I pulled up from, you know, the internet. I do plan to roof inside this to match my home, the existing garage. You know, we want to look at something nice.
So the existing building already matches your house?
Correct.
And you understand it's a pretty big variance request too.
I do. However, at the same time, it's actually less square footage than building two 1,532 square foot buildings. I'm just trying to kind of find a compromise and do the right thing here as far as, you know, what's going to look best for the area, and, you know, neighbors have to look at it as well. So
Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate you pushing it all the way to the back. And we did get 2 letters came in supporting the request as well. 2 of the neighbors did support it. Jim or Todd, do you have any other questions?
I read the letters.
No, but
You're good?
good.
You have anything else?
No, good.
Okay, you can be seated.
okay.
Oh, thank you. I apologize. So, just so you know, we usually have 5. We have 4 this evening. It still requires a majority to pass. You could table this and wait till next month when we have a majority, or you could continue with the vote and this evening.
Yeah, let's continue.
Let's continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
By continuing, go forward tonight, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go forward tonight. Thank you for reminding me, Stephanie. Sorry. Is there anybody else here that's speaking for this appeal that'd like to come up?
John Hemphill, 12367 Concord Hamden Road. My house is across the street from Mr. Lassiter's.
Sir, you've been sworn in?
Yes, I was.
Thank you.
And we, every morning when I drive out of my driveway, I'd rather see 2 buildings instead of 3 buildings on the property. And to the house to the south of Mr. Lassiter, Mr. Chafee has a large structure there at the present time, which is larger than his buildings together. So I don't see where there would be a problem of giving him the variance for 1 larger building than 2 smaller buildings. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else speaking for this appeal? Is there anyone that would like to come up that is speaking, that would like to speak against the appeal? Okay, if there's no further questions, a public hearing for variance number 2021-74 is now closed to the public. Can I get a motion to approve the variance?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
You can figure out who got the first one. All right, any discussion? Anyone have anything they would like to add? Open discussion on the board.
Yeah, I'm on the kind of the same page that he could build 4 1,500 square foot buildings on his property. He doesn't have a limit. And the compromise here, although it's a pretty big variance, it still, in my eyes, just makes sense that, why make him build 2 when 1 would suffice? And I realize we have rules specifically for this purpose, but he's not limited by how many buildings he can build. Therefore, it just would make more sense for 1.
Okay. Anyone, Jim?
Well said.
Do you have anything to add, Jim?
No,
Okay. Sounds good. I don't have anything else. Heather, I guess the question is the approval of variance number 2021-74. A yes vote approves the variance, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
yes,
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
And Mr. Valenti?
Yes. Your variance has been approved. Thank you. And thank you for coming out and supporting your neighbor. All right, next is conditional use permit 2021-14. Brandon Dines of N9 Group LLC is requesting 4 conditional use permits for the property located on Gold Court, known as current parcel number 08-A-020-B-00-002-0 as follows. To operate a drive-through facility in accordance with section 13.17. To operate a counter service restaurant in accordance with section 13.20. Number 3, to operate an outdoor dining area in accordance with section 13.33. And number 4, to operate a car wash in accordance with section 13.26. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May it please the board, my name is Brandon Dines. Address is 107th Avenue, Suite 150, Chardon, Ohio 44024. And yes, I have been sworn in. Thank you first for your time here this evening. I appreciate the hard work that each of you do as a member of this board and the time you spend away from your families in the evening to hear these appeals. Certainly each of them have their own merits and characteristics, which we all find important. And I think that you'll find, Mr. Chairman, after reading the 4 conditional use permits that I'm here to seek approval for tonight, that each of these also bear the same merits and stand on their own to be something that the Concord Community Township would welcome, embrace, and find to be of great benefit and use to all of them, whether it be for additional monies for taxes, for the services offered to the citizens, and even those traveling through the community that would benefit from the services being suggested to you. As you noted, I won't belabor the points, but of course, there are 4 conditional use permits. I don't know if you'd like me to address each of them individually, or if you'd like me to address them all together, or whatever you prefer.
I say we're gonna have to vote on them all separately, and I'm gonna change the order on how we vote on them. You could address them all together if you like. But again, like we asked the previous applicant, are you okay with moving forward this evening with your appeal?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am comfortable moving forward with only 4 members of the 5-member panel. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, to begin with, we'll start with the ice cream store, which will include counter service and outdoor dining, as well as a drive-through. The proposal there, and I think you have the plan in front of you, and I should state that Mr. Dusty Keeney from Polaris Engineering is here to answer any questions relative to the site plan. Most importantly, though, however, our main questions before the board tonight are for the conditional uses that we're seeking, understanding that the site plan, of course, may change with respect to what this board or any other board of the township, or of course Ms. Freeman, what she finds to be noteworthy and or determined by her studies to be further as far as the development of the structures, the drive-through, and the other factors that go along with it. You'll see on there the ice cream store does have outdoor dining. It is expected to be counter service, and it will have a drive-through as well. We think that Mr. Keeney's done a remarkable job showing on the form the stack for the drive-through and providing what we believe to be very adequate, safe, and secure access throughout the ice cream store, be it for the drive-through, for patrons coming to and from it, as well as the outdoor seating area. We think that by the landscaping and some of the other characteristics that you see there on the site plan, that it does create the appropriate safety measures and flow accordingly. Of course, in taking all these things at one and all on the same parcel, if you will, you'll see the car wash in the back, which is separate from the ice cream store and will have its own designated driveway, which will take people, of course, in through the tunnel and out in a safe manner. One thing I would suggest to you, and of course we're here primarily to consider the conditional use, but we are investigating whether or not a separate drive to exit beyond the property from the backside, which would exit to where Pizza Roto and that particular drive is a viable option. But at this point in time, that's not been studied further. Where there is some retention basins, there are some stormwater issues back there we have to overcome, that we believe anyway. So I think in considering the conditional uses, I think the use of the ice cream store and the car wash certainly are not out of the realm of the ordinary. We understand they're conditional, but they don't in any way prevent or provide any kind of hazardous disturbances. There's no noise, there's no glare. I think it's very important to note that car wash will not include any vacuums. I think we all find those to be rather unsightly, and they bring people in and out of there at all kinds of hours, and trash goes all over the place. So that's not going to be part and parcel of this particular car wash. The aesthetics of it will be the highest professional grade to suit the community, to look appropriate, and probably, to be quite honest with you, I think the outside structure of the car wash will be not what you expect of a car wash. The intention there will be some nice decor, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. It doesn't look like something with a bunch of neon or anything of the sort. That's not the intention whatsoever. Same thing goes for the ice cream store. The ice cream store will be, the idea is to have kind of a higher end ice cream mom and pop shop with some gelato and service such as that. Not going to be a quick service Dairy Queen type of facility, but something hopefully the community embraces. People we've talked to in the community, including some of I'm trying to think of what the word is I want to use for them. Some of the administrators, some of the people find that to be very pleasing and welcome it coming to the community. So I would share that with you to be something that's buoyed our sense of this and certainly has us excited for the whole opportunity. I'm probably talking way too much. You have questions, I'm happy to entertain those.
The ice cream shop, is that going to be seasonal, or is that going to
All year.
all year?
Yeah.
Okay. And the outdoor seating will just stay out there all year too?
No, that'll only be limited to summertime.
Summertime?
Yeah. The good news is if you want to sit outside with your ice cream, it would stay hopefully frozen. in
Very
the winter
frozen,
time.
right?
But it would not.
I didn't know if it was
would
just
not be
going to be
our intention.
mounted or.
Guaranteed no dripping stuff.
That's right.
So will there be somebody guiding people into the car wash, or I see you have these little machines that you'll pay at when you go in?
Correct. As far as an individual out there guiding them, hopefully not. I think that the kiosk machines, if you will, and the pattern of traffic as it's displayed onto the pavement will be sufficient enough to get everybody to know exactly where they're going. And there'll be some directional signs as well.
I love that you have 2 lanes going in. Especially this time of year, the car washes are packed. I would venture to guess that during those times, high traffic times, that you may need to have somebody there just guiding them in,
Yeah.
because people get pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
But I love that there's 2 lanes there.
I think the other thing, the reason this spot seemed to be enticing to us, in fact, is because it's on a cul-de-sac. We're not on Crowell Road. We don't expect there's going to be a traffic backup, such as with Zappy's on Menor Avenue, where somebody has to be out there sending people away. We don't want that by any stretch. That doesn't do anybody any good. So our hope is not to do that. And we also don't want to back up traffic on the cul-de-sac either. But I think right now, as it stands, certainly some of that's vacant. I don't think it's a problem, but we can't expect it's always going to be vacant either. So if we have to take some other action on that, we're certainly going to do so.
On the ice cream shop, the area to the, I guess I'm gonna call it to the right, which would be, I guess, the east is outdoor dining. The large concrete pad shown on the other side, what's the intent there? Is that additional outdoor dining, or that might change, that's not set in stone?
So, Mr. Chairman, are you looking to the left of the ice cream
Yeah.
shop? It might be best, with your permission, if I have Mr. Keeney come up and approach.
Okay.
And I thought, you're speaking of the area to the.
Really quick,
I'm
your
sorry,
name and for the record. and-
Dusty Keeney with Polaris Engineering and Surveying, 34600 Chardon Road, Willoughby Hills, Ohio, 44094.
And you've been sworn in, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're talking to the west. I
Yeah,
apologize.
to the
Yes.
west there.
That's basically just it's not intended to be an extension of the outdoor patio. It's just, with some extra space there for concrete, for the sake of the ADA accessibility and providing access to the front door, just a wider entrance. As we develop further, I suppose we could probably break that up a little bit with some landscaping or something along the building to provide a little planter or something. It was just,
Yeah, that would make sense if you could break that up. And then, do you know yet, is the stormwater management taken care of regionally for this area? Or are you gonna have to do something separately?
it is taken care of regionally to a certain percentage of coverage. So if we, and I don't remember the exact, I believe it's 70%. If we exceed that percentage, we will have to do additional, on-site detention, whether that's in an underground system or figure out a way to do like a bioretention area or something like that.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you. Brendan, my last question, there's some additional 13.05 and 13.17 that apply to the conditional use permits. You're good with all that and you plan on meeting that?
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I didn't want to belabor some of those points. I know this is a learned board that's well versed in these provisions, and I certainly tried to spell out a little bit of that in the recitation, so I didn't want to get into a position where, again, I was telling you things you already know, and we certainly understand and respect all those provisions and tend to work within those.
Hey, Brandon, on the traffic pattern, there are two entrances. On my right side is the wide area where you're going to come onto the two aisles or two lanes heading back to the car wash, and then on the left, one that heads toward the ice cream or restaurant.
Correct. And we wanted to, and there's also the other entrance further to the west, it would actually be an in and out. So if people were going to the ice cream, they could come in that entrance and work their way into the ice cream parking lot. What we wanted to make sure is if somebody by accident, pulled into the wrong drive, that they didn't get stuck in the car wash, that if they did pull in there, they would be able to veer off to the left and get into the circle. They'd have to pull in and go all the way around the building to either get into the drive-through or to get into some parking spaces, but at least they wouldn't be kind of trapped in the car wash lane.
Okay. One other thing, everything seems to be functioning nicely. So when I pick up on the drive-through side of the ice cream store and I get my cone in hand, right now it looks like I'm going to be pulling out, looking right straight at an arrow pointing at me. See the outer lane?
And we could look at reconfigure, and that's, we'd be happy, any circulation type ideas that from the board, we'd be happy to consider, whether we shifted that driveway down and flipped the parkings, we're trying to keep the parking together because, I didn't want to flip and put another couple parking spots up right next to the car wash and have those folks have to cross over it's a balance of trying to make the circulation work and trying to think about the pedestrian. But we could look at.
What if you just moved to the island and put in 2 more spaces, and so you just have that one way right there when you come out of the drive-through?
But then they're using this for an in. See, that's why they gotta come in and they can come in and park.
But I'm just talking about coming out of the drive-through.
It's a point well taken because it's remarkably similar to the current configuration of Starbucks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
So that's something that clearly we need to work through a little bit further, and we absolutely will.
Okay.
All right.
Good point, Jim.
Yep, valid point. Yeah, I think, Dustin, maybe I think just take a little bit of time after this, when you guys go into zoning, I'm sure zoning will have some comments on the site plan.
Sure.
Any other questions on the conditional uses for the ice cream shop or the car wash?
Is it gonna be a double tunnel car wash or single?
Looks like.
As far as how many cars going through at one time?
Yeah.
Meaning,
Can two go through at the same time? Because you got 2 arrows coming in at the pay station, 2 arrows going into the car wash, and 2 arrows coming out. I just don't know if you could put 2 in at a time, because just one, okay.
I was thinking, what? So you're gonna have a little bit of merger area there.
But I think that's typical car washes, even with
what
the double
happens
lanes.
is, keep in mind that if you've been to some of the car washes in the area, the kiosk there where you stop will have a bar that will let each individual car go at a particular time, and then they pull in. They can stack behind one another as necessary, so they won't be just racing through there in any fashion. Sorry, I misunderstood your question, but there will be more than one car that can be in the tunnel at a given time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. But you, as they say, based on the drawing, but I think presumption that we had like a double wide car wash is not part of the question.
I think we would like to, but realistically, that's
Yeah.
not going to happen. Ideally, that would be fantastic.
You got kind of a merger thing also, that the people that are coming in on the entrance toward the cul-de-sac, if they're heading toward the ice cream, they're supposed to, I'm thinking on a July afternoon when there's a lot of people there, either merge there, and also, could there not be cars coming out of the parking areas? You're depicting a line of cars that are working their way around to the order place
Right.
area.
Right, and that was for, as far as the parking, that's why we thought it would be better to angle the park so that, folks would be able to back out kind of already on the proper angle and then get back into the drive lane and circle back out around the building. And you're right, with the merger, we'll have to, whether with some signage or somehow, we'll have to, make sure
Yeah, I
that
think
things are marked properly and
Because I can see, one guy or whoever is in a rush to get their order placed. Doesn't
cutting
wanna-
in, right,
And somebody's coming out of the parking area also,
right.
meeting the guy that's coming in. So it could be a little intriguing. But anyway, we flailed that point to it.
Okay, you good?
Good.
You good now? Chris?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here that's speaking for or against this appeal? There's no further questions. The public hearing for variance number 2021-14 is now closed to the public. Can I get a motion? So we're gonna do all these separately, just so you know. We're gonna do them in a different order. So I'm gonna tell you which one we're voting on first and which one we're gonna get a motion on first, okay? So I'll need somebody, yes.
Your Honor, I understand that there's variances that may be required for these, is that correct?
For the conditional use permits?
For the actual plan?
There is potential that there was potentially a variance required for one of the specific conditions.
Does that impact us, Stephanie, if we're just voting
I
on
would
the,
recommend that if any variances are determined in the need, that the motion be that the CUP be approved.
Oh, so-
And that any variances can be secured and approved as well.
Well, they indicate a possible variance for the pay station on the drawing.
It would be a motion to approve, subject to securing any necessary variances.
Okay.
Brandon, any objections to that?
Heather?
So which one would need a potential variance?
I'm sorry.
No, I was,
We can just speak generally.
Yeah, well, generally.
Do it on all.
generally.
Do it on all of them. Perfect. Okay. So, please be patient with me. So I will entertain a motion to approve variance number 2021-14. The first being, number one, to operate a car wash in accordance with section 13.26, and they will obtain any variance if needed for the final approval of their site plan. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? None? All right. So the question is on approval of variance number 2021-14 to operate a car wash in accordance with section 13.26. Yes vote approves the conditional use permit, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Bowling?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes. Okay, that is approved. All right. Next, I need a motion to approve 2021-14 to operate a counter service restaurant in accordance with section 13.20. Can I get a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion for the board? Okay, none? Then the question then again is for the approval of variance 2021-14 to operate a counter service restaurant in accordance with section 13.20, and that they would meet, I guess, any variance requirements if they have any. Yes vote approves it, no vote doesn't. Heather, please call the vote for that one.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Bowling?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes. Okay. The next one is a motion for 2021-14 to operate a drive-through facility in accordance with section 13.17. Can I get a motion?
Subject to any variances.
Subject to any variance that is required. Thank you. That's why she's here.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Heather, please call the vote to approve the conditional use permit for 2021-14 to operate as a drive-through facility in accordance with section 13.17.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes. Okay, the last one. I need a motion to approve conditional use permit 2021-14 to operate an outdoor dining area in accordance with section 13.33.
So moved.
Subject to any.
Subject to any variance. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Sorry, Jim, you're
Slow on the draw.
Slow. Any discussion? None? Heather, can you please call a vote to approve variance 2021-14 to operate as an outdoor dining area in accordance with section 13.33?
Mr. Valente?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Bowling?
Yes.
Okay, all the conditional use permits have been approved.
And I would like to say that was one of the most well-written letters that we've ever seen on this board.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of minutes from January 13th, 2021. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion regarding the minutes?
Negative.
No? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as written with no modifications, say aye.
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 Jim, abstaining?
Abstain.
All right. The minutes from January 13th, 2021 have been approved. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for February 12th or February 10th, I'm sorry, 2021 is now closed. Bam, done.
Thank heaven.